So the macro trends are finally a bit more favorable for all of us in the travel industry, but we're still have a long ways to go. So I think the CDC recommendations are great for private gatherings. They don't extend to public gatherings yet, like being on airplanes. And as a result, I think it's going to take a bit more time, a lot more Americans getting vaccinated, which I hope they do, before we see travel demand really come back. But here where I am in Miami Beach, for example, based on kayak data, we're only down 24% in terms of flight queries from pre-pandemic levels. New York and other places are down 70%. So it is in the right direction, if you will.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear you say that. That was actually my next question for you, is where are we seeing, the growth, I guess, come back the strongest right now? It sounds like, at least if you're talking about Miami Beach, there's a correlation between those economies, those states that are more open versus the ones that still remain pretty, dare I say, locked down.
Yeah, that's been true throughout the past year of the pandemic. The places where consumers can go and actually do stuff tend to be more in demand than those where you can't. And you have to remember there's a big dichotomy even within domestic versus international. So overall, in kayak search data, domestic markets are down 50%. The markets that are open are down 25%. International markets are down 70%, with a lot of them being down 90%, like France, for example, where you can't even go to.
Yeah, Steve, I was going to actually ask about international and France in particular. You've got these governments that have, they've struggled with the overall trajectory over time. Supply of the vaccine in the EU is challenged relative to the United States. And yet you're looking at capacity on airlines filling up fast. I mean, what do you tell a consumer who's hoping to do a European trip in July or August?
Well, I think the most important thing for a consumer to do is make sure you're getting a flexible cancellation policy on whatever you're buying. So please go ahead and go on Kayak and other sites and look, because it's fun to think about your travel plans. But gosh, make sure you have a flexible cancellation and buy your travel insurance, because these restrictions, as we learned over the past year, can change very quickly. And you don't want to be out lending money to an airline for free, for example.
Right. Are you seeing signs that if things go well, that governments are well coordinated in creating some kind of universal passport that would document your vaccination and allow you to get through borders with minimal friction?
There's been a lot of groups looking at that. So both independent airlines or travel suppliers, consortia, and then governments trying to get this too. It's just tough to coordinate all this stuff. So I think what will likely happen is we'll get positive signs on case counts and hospitalizations and, most importantly, deaths. And that will lead folks to start loosening restrictions quickly. And that will probably happen before we have a vaccination or a health passport that people can use. That stuff will take time. I think that stuff will come into development, which will be very useful for the next pandemic, should it occur in 3 to 5 years.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.